Do you think this is a good solution? If women, let's just say women do want a man that earns enough to be able to hold it down, you know what I'm saying? What would you say is the ideal selection or the ideal group of men for her to go for when she's young and want to be married young?
So I'm not
Because
gonna. So I'm
mhm,
gonna be honest with you. It does not matter what a man makes. As a
okay.
woman, I'm a multiplier.
Oh,
He could be a cashier at McDonald's, and we're gonna put plans together to where he'll own one. It does not matter where he's at financially. If you focus too much on what a man is, where he's at financially, then you will miss him and where he could be potentially. That's why majority. And so let me just say this. That's why a majority of these women are marrying ball players in college because they ain't making no money. They ain't making no money, but they sitting there. We're fixing plates. We're making tacos. We're washing clothes. We're showing up because of the fact if you but the thing is, the women don't want to put in work like that anymore. Not in 2025. Not in for the last 5 years. Women don't want to put in work in like that anymore, and they don't want to be honest with the fact that where they're at in their life. Majority of women in their late 30s and 40s, they're so stuck in the mindset. Well, you know what? This is the way that I am. Da 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 da. They don't want to align. Women don't want to align to a man's purpose, even in their late 30s, because they build an empire by themselves. They become so self-sufficient that they expect a man to align to them. That's not the way we were created.
And now, man, I have a question, a follow up question, just for what you said. So, because there may be some people watching, and they may be unable to identify whether that cashier is going to potentially go somewhere or not. Like, how do you determine if this man that hasn't reached his purpose fully is a good man to invest in?
So that's the thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have to have a man vet him. Majority of women don't have fathers or male role models. I can't figure it out. I can have like so I know a checklist because I know some amazing men around me. I know some amazing men around me. And if there was a man who was wanting to be intentional with me, I've made some pretty bad choices. Listen, I'm not perfect. It is what it is. I'm 38. I'm gonna be 38 next week. I've been married. I'm divorced, and I didn't have what I have now. So if I had a man who was intentional with me, in conversation and was serious, I would have the men around me that because of the fact that I'm gonna pick. I'm a woman. I'm gonna pick according to my emotion. I can pick according to my logic, and then I'd end up like some of these other women, so focused on the bag that it's just gonna leave me lonely.
So, and I'm gonna pass the mic to Wisdom after this. But I know it's easy to say like now because we hear it all the time. But when I look at what's actually going on, a lot of men are not vetting the women. So, how do we change that culture? Because as adults, we can say that, but if you look at the younger generation, it's not happening by the mass.
So
Najee had
I believe that a lot of men need men in their lives. And majority of the time, a man isn't going to come across a young man or a young boy isn't going to come across a male role model until he's over the age of 18, whether he's in college, whether he goes into the military. He's going to have to seek that out on his own away from his mother, unfortunately. And a lot of the times, a lot of women aren't placing their sons in situations to be able to receive from male role models. And it's difficult though sometimes as a single mother, it can be difficult to have those male role models for your children. But you gotta listen, as a mom, I know exactly where my faults are. But it is also my responsibility to place people in my children's life, even if I gotta take kids. The fact of the matter is a lot of women are just too proud and they don't want to humble themselves and admit that they need help or support outside of finances.
Okay.
Hey JR, can you ask the question one more time?
The question that I was asking is that I wasn't seeing it happening in the mass when it comes to the men actually vetting the
Vetting.
men that our daughters or family members are actually um, getting involved with. So, like, how could we change that? Like, what needs to happen so that we could actually see it? Because we talk about it online. that this is what should be done. But once I sign off, I'm not seeing it. And
So
I rarely seen it in my family and friends. I don't think nobody really vetted, like truly vetted and said, hey, where the woman would actually even listen, because 9 times out of 10, like, these young ladies are doing what they want to do regardless of what somebody else has to say.
got you. Najee had to answer with the first thing he said. Before you can vet anybody else, you have to be able to vet yourself. Most people, and this is just in general, most people lack self-awareness. And because they lack self-awareness, they don't know how to pick, because they don't know who it is that they're actually picking for, because they don't know themselves, right? And self-awareness is not necessarily something that comes along with age, right? There's people out here 50, 60, 70 years old that lack self-awareness. So I would love to hear Najee go in on this, but my perspective is, before I can help you become self-aware enough to vet somebody else's awareness, I myself have to become self-aware. When you go on a journey of self-awareness, you learn about all people, because everybody has emotions. Everyone has the same emotions. Everybody has intrusive thoughts. Everyone has creative thoughts. Everyone has the ability to solve problems in their own different ways. But you having your own consciousness is the map for you to understand other people. Once you understand yourself and how it is that you react to negative or undesirable emotions, you can then help other people do that. And so it becomes a trickle down process. And we have to be willing to mentor the younger people to develop the self-awareness that I have at 42. You can have that at, say, 20. Will you still be a little more immature? Sure. But will you be able to manage your emotions? Will you know how to set healthy boundaries? So in order to vet someone else, you got to vet yourself first.
I think that, so if I
I
understood your question
think that's
right,
what DJ said in the beginning. Did she say that about?
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with
Thank
her.
you, JR, because everything y'all say vet, I say connect. It's like it's so remedial to me at this point, because not you don't know, but I'm just saying they're fighting
you're
me
cutting
on
out.
everything, saying the same stuff.
You're
Yeah,
cutting
you
out.
you cutting out, DJ.
Oh, I thought that was me. Okay.
It's fast
Yeah,
up.
but
Okay.
what happens is on these spaces we've always ran into. It's always been a solution for maybe the past 5 or 6 years in the manosphere. Is we ran into it periodically. Hey, vet, right? But what I'm starting to come across, and I think a lot of creators who have been doing research and influencing their audiences, is that there's still a hole in this whole process. Once you vet people out, and we're talking about marriage, where it only lasts for as long as the person is able to perform or willing to continue to perform, because a lot of people are on game. You know that it's all about who can manipulate the other person and give off the facade, and then you end up taking a risk, and then you have to reset. You have to do it again. So I think Najee hit on it perfectly earlier, indirectly. You just got to be able to be willing to walk away. We have to get out of this. I know we like to push it because of our religions and our principles. Hey, you shouldn't end your marriages and you shouldn't walk away. But that is the only thing that's going to give you peace, is being able to just, I mean, and we talk about, to tell us the men specifically, because women never had any problem walking away. They do it at a 70% clip. It is the men who get tied into it, and they end up risking their mental health in the process. And so we just try to tell men, look, there's really nothing you can do. You can go and take the risk. Yeah, it's worth it. There's some good women out there. You may find a woman that you can be with. And then there's the other side to it. You just may fail. But we don't want you to sit here and tolerate disrespect and being mistreated just for the sake of, oh, I want to just stay married, or I want to do it for the kids. No, get the hell out, bro. It's fine. We all understand it. We understand the society we have today with all of these movements. It's just defiling the whole covenant that God created. We understand, man, that if you're gonna have to pack it up and roll out. And we just got to get more men having an ease of mind that is okay now, because we've got now how to figure that out. But women are cunning. They have a way to manipulate. whenever they don't get their way, they can perform all the way up until the time to where, you know what? All right, I'm done with this. And there's so many other women that's continuing to champion that and push it and tell women, yeah, you should pack it up. There is no way. It is not turning back, going back towards the other way. It just ain't.